Okay, good afternoon everyone. So I have here a somewhat a short discussion with regards to our topic, projectile motion. So kindly refer to your My Learning Body textbook on page 180. Okay, you can see there a figure. Sorry kaya ha. A figure in which a person is throwing a ball horizontally. So as you can see there, as the ball travels, it moves horizontally and vertically downward. So do not forget with the saying that everything that is being thrown upward will always go back to the Earth's surface. So, mao na natay work na vertically downward. So, the curve nga ang bulan ni Suba is what we call as trajectory. O, mao na siya trajectory ang curve ha. Then, a body moving in this manner. So, si bola, again, a body moving is what we call as projectile. Projectile na siya. And then, the whole thing, the motion itself is what we call as projectile motion. So, umana siya. And also, projectile motion is a combination of vertical motion, which is free fall, and horizontal motion, which is uniform motion. So you can see in the figure 1-2, you have there an athlete. So, na atleta nga nibalitok. A free-falling body moves vertically only. On the other hand, a projectile moves in two dimensions. You have the vertical and horizontal. So examine the figure 1-3 on the next page. So, here it is. So, makita ninyo. Mo na siya. The projectile is released with an initial velocity. Dara, si VI. Mao ni variable gamiton sa initial velocity. VI or V sub I. So, dako si V, gamay si I. Next. And at an angle with the horizontal. So, ang angle of projection diha is what we call angle theta. Lingin nga nibadlis sa tunga. Theta, angle theta. The two independent motions of the projectile are the horizontal motion with velocity v sub x. Again, v sub x is the horizontal motion. And the vertical motion, which is v sub y. Nganong x ug y na siya? Sure, it's because, di ba sa ato ang Cartesian plane, di ba naman tay x and y axis. So, higda is the x-axis. And the varog or vertical axis mo ng y. Y and x. So, that's it. Next. The horizontal motion has uniform velocity. Thus, it stands for a sub x. A sub x is equivalent to 0. Is equal to 0 rather. So next, the vertical motion, on the other hand, has changing velocity due to gravity. So when the force of gravity here on Earth, this is constant. And this is also in negative form. Kay iniglabay nimo sa butang, padung man na siya sa ubos, inigbalik niya no, downward. So meaning, kung padung na siya ubos na negative na iyahang kanang values. So you have here negative y. Okay, next. As you can see here, kini diri dapita kung ato ang padak-on dara na siya. Unsa man ni sila sure? Kini siya is mao ni ang butang nga gilabay horizontally. Padung diri ana. So daghan siya dimensions no. Unsa ti pinaka-peak diri sa paglabay og diri sa ubos sa ground? Mao ni siya kuha na to sa height. Height unsa gitas-on ang paglabay. Og kining ubos mao ni gitawag og range. Range or R. Mao ni siya ang gilayon sa paglabay. So kung ato ni panakon diri nga part, diri dara na siya. So sure, ngano man na inanan siya sure. So kung atong i-apply ang trigonometric functions, katong cosine, tangent, so katuwa ba? If you remembered sa math ninyo, naamagin mo ana. So, this is your horizontal motion. V sub ix or initial velocity, pwede siya basta kay horizontal. Na siya sa x. Nga na x na siya sure, it's because, again, sa Cartesian plane, x-axis, y-axis. Then, in application to the trigonometric functions, nga nung cosine na siya sure? It's because, kung ato na siyang kining triangle atong basihan. So meaning, this is cosine because cosine is equal to adjacent divided by the hypotenuse. So this is A, this is B, and this is C. B is your adjacent, and C is your hypotenuse. Mo siya cosine na siya diha nga side. Dili sa nga side is mo na siya atong vertical motion. And mo na siya ang sine. Kay sine is kuan siya hypotenuse over adjacent. So mo na siya ang sine. So mo na siya, ngayon na siya purma. Ay dyan nagkalinti si angle theta, kay mo siya itong angle of projection sa paglabay. So, using trigonometric functions, we can derive the following equations. You have the cosine angle theta is equal to V sub ix over V sub I. And sine theta, V sub iy and V sub I. Anyways, equivalent naman lang duha. So hence, the x and y components of the initial velocity of the projectile are V sub ix is equal to Vi multiplied to cosine theta. So, mausa ni siya diri sa vertical. During the flight of the projectile, its horizontal velocity, V sub x, remains constant, while its vertical velocity, V sub y, varies. So, meaning, constant ang iyahang V sub x, ari na ta mag-matter sa V sub y. At any time t. T stands for time. These velocities are V sub x is equal to V sub I multiplied to cosine theta, which is constant. And you have the vertical, V sub y is equal to V sub I sine theta minus gravity multiplied to time. So the net velocity V that results from V sub x and V sub y can be computed using the equation V is equal to the square root of V sub x squared plus V sub y squared. Next, as the projectile ascends, its vertical velocity decreases. At the maximum height, its vertical velocity is 0. At this point, the projectile starts to descend. When I say descend, paubos. And its vertical velocity increases. So, meaning, inigpadung niya ubos ana, mukusok ang yung velocity. Vertically. Diba? Until it reaches the ground. Okay. How would we know the displacement of the projectile from its origin? At any time, the horizontal displacement x and vertical displacement y can be obtained using the following equations. So you have here x, this is the horizontal displacement. This is the vertical displacement. So naa si x. Si x is equivalent to r, or the range. Okay. Y is equivalent to height. So, sumama na siya. You have here x is equal to v sub I cosine theta times time. And in vertical motion, or vertical displacement, y is equal to v sub I sine theta times t minus 1/2 gravity times time squared. Okay, let's go to the next. Okay, wait sa ha. So, pangitaon kung asa to yung activity. Okay, again, for number 1, atong ipangsuwat ang mga given. So, sa mga numeruha ang atong makitaan diha. So, na-sure si 20 meter per seconds. Okay? Naasad sure si 70 meters. Okay na. So, asa ani nga mga variables nga nag-apelyedo og meter per seconds ang meter? So, si x sure. So, si x di si 20, si 70 di si x. Then, si 20 meter per seconds is your velocity. So, gi-state na diha nga with an initial velocity of 20 meter per second. So, meaning, this is your v sub I. Okay, ay saha, mapatiran man ako, class. Okay. Okay na siya. Sure, saan mo naman na pag-solve? So, mag-refer na yun mo sa given table. Tara. So, ang atong ipangita is time man. Then, ang motion is horizontal man. So, we will use the formula x equals to v sub I multiplied to t. Okay? Next, unsay buhaton? Para di mo malibok inig-solve ninyo, inyo hasang i-derive si formula. So, kung ato na siyang i-derive, kay si time man itong pangitaon, so, inig-derive na is x equals to v sub I multiplied to t. Divide both sides with v sub I. So, cancel out na si v sub I during apart. So, magpabilin si t. So, t is equals to x over v sub I. So, from this formula, makakompute na mo. Unsa ang pagkuha si t. Okay. Pwede na ito siyang ibalhin si t lang ha. Ito ibalhin. So, you have here now, t is equal to x over v sub I. So, after, let us substitute the given values for x and the velocity. So, what is your x? You have there 70 meters. Divided by, your v sub I is 20 meter per seconds. Sabot? So, say buhaton, sure. Of course. Ang inyong buhaton, divide. So, pilay answer na to, anak. So, that is, itong manumanuhon, 70 divided by 20. You have 3, 60. You have 10. So, the answer is 3.5. Kung sa'yo apelido ni time? Seconds. Sure, asa may padung naman si meters. So, si meters, ato na siyang makancel out. So, magpabilin si seconds, which is the unit for time. So, this is the answer for number 1. Next, di ba ni Ana taganiha nga ang projectile motion is nasa duha ka tawagan ni nasa duha ka dimensions, horizontal and vertical. So karon man naman ta sa horizontal, ato na sa tani vertical. Asa man ang formula ni vertical chair? So you will use this one. Kini siya, y is equal to negative 1/2 times gt squared. Okay? Okay, next. Atong pangitaon na karon si kaya ang ipangutana sa number 1 is ang height man. Kuya, ang sa first itong solution is kanang wala man ta nakakuha ni height. Then we cannot proceed in getting the height kung wala tay time. Di ba? So, muna, nagikuha na to daan si time, muna ta mag-solve sa height. So, again, y is equal to the height. Okay, next. You have the formula again, y is equal to negative 1/2 gravity times t squared. Okay, next. So, na naman tayo time. So, we will use 3.5 seconds. Okay? Then, again, gravity is constant, which is 9.8 meter per second squared. Okay, next. Atong i-substitute ang given values. So, kopya si 1/2, negative 1/2. So, pila si gravity? You have 9.8 meter per second squared. Then, multiply the time. Pilay time? You have here 3.5 seconds squared. Parenthesis, din na siya class. Meaning na, i-multiply na to na ha. Okay, next. Step by step sa ta. So, negative 1/2. Kupya so si 9.8 meter per second squared. Ato sang i-multiply si 3.5 by 3.5. Okay, squared man siya, minato siyang kaduhaon. So, atong i-multiply, 3.5 times 3.5, 5 times 5, 25. 5 times 3, 15, plus 2, 17. Again, this is 5 times 3 equals to 15. 3 times 3 equals to 9, plus 1, 10. 5, this is 12, this is 2, and this is 1. So, 2 decimal places. So, the answer is 12.25. So, ato siyang isuwat diri. Kita ra. 12.25 seconds. Karon, naman siya exponent nga to. So, meaning nga na, kung pina-exponent ni S diri, naman siya kanang 1 exponent. So, ang yung exponent nga 1, atong puna nag 1. Kaya kaduha man siya gi-multiply. So, this will become S squared. Next. Ato siyang i-multiply daan before ta mo undergo aning 1/2. Okay? So, copy again, 1/2. So, 9.8 times 12.25. Pila man na siya? So, 12.25 multiply to 9.8. So, you have here 8 times 5. 8 times 5 is 40. 16, 20, 16, 18, 8, 9. This is 45. 18 plus 4 is 22. 18 plus 2 is 20. 9 plus 2 is 11. 0, 5, 10, 10, 2, 1. So, we have 3 decimal places. So, 1, 2, 3. So, you have the answer of 120.050. Ang sana may apelido ano niya, sure? meters. Nga naman, sure. I-cancel out to si second squared. So, nagpabilin si meters. Okay? So, ibuhato na sa not sure. Next. Imong i-multiply sa negative 1 to 120.050 meters. Una pa nimo i-divide og 2. So, again, a number that is multiplied to 1 is always the number. Di ba? Rule na siya sa math ninyo. So, negative 1 times 120.050 meters is equal to negative 120.050 meters. Anong negative, sure? It's because 1 is negative. Okay? Ano na siya mag-matter lang? Sa imuhang sign. So, divided by 2. So, pilay answer, anak. Ari na sa dari, mano-mano na sa ta. 120.050 meters divided by 2. You have, adunahon, 6, 12, 0, bring on 0, 0, 0, 0. Yan, decimal naman na siya. So, you have 0, 0. Yan, pila man ni 5 divided by 2. 5 divided by 2 is 2. You have 4. So, the answer here is 60, negative 60 meters. Ato na siyang i-round off. After the decimal point is 0 man. So, na siya. Ato i-round off. So, this is 60 meters. Is the height of the building. Okay? Get strong flow. Oh. Okay, let's have problem number 2. In the problem number 2, it states that a ball is thrown horizontally from a height of 13 meters with an initial velocity of 20 meters per second. How far will it travel after 10 seconds? So, ang ipangita niya is how far ang gilayon. So, meaning, atong pangitaon si range. Then, given diri, na siya, kung si range ang atong pangitaon, mo refer na yun ta diri. Then, horizontal motion man siya. So, let us refer to this kanang formula. So, x is equal to v sub I is equals to t. I multiplied to t. So, di ba? Always remember that x is equal to r or the range. Then, given na sa diha, so, x is missing. Naasa diha si v sub I. Pila si v sub I? You have 20 meter per seconds. Then you have also there the time. Given mo sa time, which is 10 seconds. So you can easy to compute or solve for the range. So no need for you to derive the formula. Kaya na naman rin si range daan. All you have to do is to substitute the given values. So you have x is equals to pilas in ang initial velocity. You have 20 meter per seconds. Multiply it to time, which is 10 seconds. So, ato yung multiply, 20 times 10 is equals to 200. Ang sa unit ni range, meters. Nga naman, sure. Ato ma-cancel out si seconds. So, the range is 200 meters. So, okay na? So, okay na siya, ha? So, if any other or further questions, clarifications, ingana, just PM me directly. Chat me, ha? So, muna na siya so far about sa exam na to. Okay? I hope na amoy nakuha. Thank you.